Many people get news from social media. This has become a new normal since the COVID pandemic. And according to the Pew Research Center 2022 research, for the past 3 years, about 50% of US adults get news from social media. Coinciding with this new normal, we also see policymakers treating social media and traditional media as competitors. For example, the European Union passed Article 11 in 2019, which is a link tax that requires social media platforms to pay a fee to display headlines and news snippets. And other countries such as Canada started to follow this footstep. A part of the reason for this policy is to assume that social media steals the audience from traditional news media. But is it true? My name is Jie Ren, and I am an associate professor in information technology and operations at the Gabelli School of Business. Our paper, recently published in the European Journal of Information Systems, aims to provide an answer to that. We treated social media not only as an information channel, but also as a platform to accumulate attention towards certain topics. It is not necessarily that people get to read news articles through clicking on the same news links on social media. It could be very common that people run into a popular topic on social media and get curious and start to search for more detailed reporting of this topic in traditional news media. In other words, we argue that social media is an attention driver, translating people's attention to traditional news viewership. To study this, we focus on the stock market because in the stock market, social media may circulate lots of non-fundamental information about stocks, such as scandals and rumors. And people may discuss their stock trading strategies and share their joys or complaints about certain stocks, etc. on social media. These discussions about a stock may not make news headlines yet, but they may trigger people to be curious about this stock and make people search for traditional news about this stock. Therefore, the stock market is a good context to study social media as an attention driver. We received data of 2 years from Sina Weibo and Sina Finance. Sina Weibo is an equivalent to Twitter, a social media platform, and Sina Finance is like Yahoo Finance, a traditional news aggregator, except both are owned by the same company, Sina. We found there is a positive association between social media discussion on the stock and traditional news viewership on the same stock the next day. And such positive association is stronger when the social media discussion is more positive, more intensive in emotion, or more from trustworthy accounts. As part of the robustness checks, we found that 8% to 40% of Weibo users go to Sina Finance after discussing stocks on Weibo. The percentage is much higher, almost double, on weekends or holidays. Our findings clearly show that social media helps traditional news media to guide viewers. We suggest that policymakers may need to revisit their assumption that treats social media and traditional news media as competitors. Our findings suggest that social media and traditional news media should collaborate rather than blindly compete. Another takeaway from this paper could be that understanding this connection between social media and traditional news media, individuals or organizations can create trends for them. For example, they could purposely design their social media posts to be strongly positive and make sure that their accounts are verified by the social media platform to attract attention to their discussed topics and go from there. Depending on the nature of the cause, this could be a good or a bad thing.